Okay. So, hi Camille.
Hi Anna, how are you?
I'm good. So today is the third day of your class, right?
Yes, this is third day.
I have a couple of questions for you. How did you become a stutterer?
I don't remember exactly when I became a stutterer. All I know is I wasn't born a stutterer. I remember when I was age 4 or 5, when I went to the primary school, I was speaking normally. And I remember my friend at the time, we were having a good time. And all of a sudden, one day, I just noticed I couldn't speak correctly. I know like what happened, what triggered my stuttering was probably in school. One day, the teacher asked me a question, and I knew the question correctly. So I stood up and I opened my mouth to say the answer. Nothing came out. And everybody just started laughing at class. It was like this teacher, even the teacher laughed at me.
Really?
So everybody was laughing. And I was like, wow, how come I couldn't speak? And he asked me again because I was in that stage of scare or frightened. So when he asked me again, I stood up and I couldn't say anything. So that day when I went home, I spoke to my mom about it. She was like, don't give it, no, it's okay. But it was only okay for me. So, and everybody in school started calling me like stutter or you can't speak.
Wow.
And I was like, I just went frightened and not able to speak anymore. And then it just got worse and worse until I went to the high school. I went to the university. It was okay, so you don't have to speak every day. You can just show up and sit there and listen to the teacher. So it was okay. So I managed my life through those situations. I have to speak sometime. I have friends that accepted me the way I was. You know, like, okay, this guy probably can speak normally, so don't expect a lot from him.
Camille, was it still in France?
Yeah, it was in France, yeah. That was in France. So I went to school, high school, college, university. I started university over there in France. I was studying law. I really love law. I want to be a lawyer or a judge, like something like that. I like that. But because of that lack of being able to speak correctly, if you're a lawyer, you have to speak.
Oh yeah, you have to speak.
Yeah, otherwise people won't hire you if you can't say anything.
That's right.
And we had a speech therapist at the time, and she told my mom, like, don't let your son do this kind of job, like lawyer or journalist or teacher, because he can't speak.
And that was in France still, right?
It was in France, yeah.
So you did have some speech therapy in France?
I did have a speech therapist in France when I was in school. When I was started, my mom took me to the hospital, and then we met with a speech therapist, and she was looking at me, following me from my little age until when I had to move here to Canada. So,
do you remember, do you recall what the speech therapist was doing with you? What kind of speech therapy did you have?
She was teaching me the breathing technique, like I have to breathe, maybe I wasn't breathing properly, like I have to do this kind of exercise before sleeping, like 15-minute breathing, and my mom has to watch me breathing, put her arm on my belly to make sure I'm breathing properly, and had me talking, and so I have to breathe specific way. I don't remember very well. I have to do it twice a day, so in the morning and before going to bed in the night.
So how was it supposed to help you? What do you think?
Oh, I think like what she discovered or what she was saying is like I'm not breathing properly, so the way I speak is like I'm trying to push the word, I'm trying to fight with the word. So if I breathe, you know, and I should be able to open my mouth and speak slowly. And she was asking me to speak slowly too, not to speak fast. And my family...
did that help you, the breathing technique? Did it help you?
Oh, it was temporarily, I would say like it did help me a little bit because she was saying you have to speak slowly and breathe slowly too. So I was like, before I open my mouth, I have to take some air and then start saying.
Yeah.
But you can sometimes if you have to say something and you have to be relaxed. But and sometimes it did help me, sometimes it did not. So at the end of the day, it didn't help me at all. So I gave up on that, and my mom even gave up on that. So we went to the other one. The other one was like, it was pretty much the same thing about the breathing technique, like just breathe, be relaxed. And she used to tell me like, it's a disease. That's how you are. Just need to accept that and try to hide it as much as you can. So don't put yourself in those situations where you have to speak. If you know like you can say something, just don't say it.
Oh.
And I was doing that. So during my high school, I was pretty much like a smart guy, so I knew a lot. So
you still are. You still are a smart guy.
So I still have to. Sometimes the teacher asking me, I was the only one in the class knowing how to do it, so I have to say it. But I couldn't say it, so I just have to sit there and be passive and listen to other people. But when it comes to any writing test, any essay, I was good.
Yeah.
And the teacher go like, how come you write so good? You can't speak, you can't say. And he has to ask me to explain the class what I just wrote.
Okay.
But I couldn't.
Did you do anything else in France?
No, I had to. I had two speech therapists and it didn't help me. And one point of my life, I gave up that and said like, it's not going to work. It's not for you. That's how you are. Some people are blind or they're deaf or they're dumb. Like, just accept that and move forward. So I gave up with any therapy. I was just going to school, having my normal life, and knowing like I have a disease and I just need to accept that. I went to school there. I studied law, so I went to be a lawyer. They said like, no, it's not for you. Do something else.
Okay.
So I went to economy. So I have to move to Canada because best school was in North America, so I have to move to Canada. And I have a family in Montreal, so I went to school there in Montreal. It was pretty much the same thing where I couldn't speak correctly. And the good news is in Canada, it's like people accommodate you. If they know like you have a disease or you have a disability, they will accommodate you, so they won't put you in those situations where you have to speak. And it's new that, so you have to give presentation. I wasn't allowed to give presentation.
Wow.
So it's like, oh no, you can't speak. It's okay for you. You know what? Just write everything. I will take it that way. And so
how did you feel about it, Camille?
I felt very bad. I was crying sometimes when I have think about it, like, and people looking at me saying, like, look at this guy, he has everything, so how come he just can't speak? And I was looking at myself like, how come I can't speak? And so that's how, and then I went to the hospital. I met another speech therapist. She was telling me like, it's my fault, like I have to fight, I have to give up those negative thoughts and thinking like I can do something about it. But it was a lot of practice. Like, she used to tell me like, if you know like you have to speak tomorrow, so just prepare your speech today, practice, make sure you get comfortable with that speech, and then tomorrow you can give that speech. But it wasn't for the daily life situation. You don't give a speech every day.
Right.
When I go to the store, I don't have to give a speech. I just need, I don't know, a Coca-Cola, or I don't have to prepare myself for that. So it wasn't helping me the way I wanted. It was a temporary situation. If I have to go for a job interview, I know, okay, I can prepare myself. That's it. But I don't go for job interview every day.
Yes,
so
that's exactly right.
It was it was helping, but not as I wanted. So I gave up. I said like, that's how I am. So I'm just gonna get a job like in administrative paperwork job where you sit somewhere in the back office.
Yeah.
You don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, to be a little mouse in the office.
Yeah.
Shuffling
so
papers. Okay.
the paper, just work with the paper. Don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, but it wasn't for you, right?
But it wasn't for me. And the good news is like I couldn't get those jobs. I tried. No, they didn't hire me.
Okay.
They were hiring me for the conversation job, like analyst, advisor, this kind of thing. I was like, why they hire me for that? I can't do it. Just hire me for the back office job. Because people over there, they could speak, but they would hire for those jobs. How come not me?
Okay.
And I thought maybe that was something pushing me, like, don't go that way. Try.
Yeah.
So I got my first job. It was very challenging. For me, being a French speaker, moving to Toronto, English-speaking city in Canada, so I have to learn English, but it was like, wow. And they couldn't hire me for French job. They have French job in Toronto, but they were hiring me for English job only.
Right.
And English being my second language, and me being a stutterer, it was double pressure on me.
Right.
When I came here, because I said before, I was in Montreal, so that was the French part of Canada, and French was my first language. My first speech therapist over there told me not to try learning another language because French is my language, it would be my only language, and go to the fact that my brain and my mind struggle with French, it would be impossible for me to learn another language. And I believe her at the time because I tried English even in school. It was so hard for me. I couldn't speak. Not knowing I didn't know the grammar. I know the grammar, but because I wasn't used to say words in English, it was just not. I was so unable to say anything in English. So that's why when I say like I have to move forward, I have to do something about stuttering. And if that goes to English, if I have to learn English to get rid of the stuttering, I have to do that. So that's why I moved to Toronto, which is the English part of Canada. And I learned English. I found myself learning English. I went to English class. I was like the best among a lot of people. I went to college actually here. I don't even like I have a master, but I went to college just to improve my English speaking. And I was speaking with native English people, and I was better than them.
Oh,
so
wow.
That just told me like nothing wrong with me.
Yep.
All I have to do is not. It's not English the problem. It's not like my brain, which cannot understand, cannot memorize English because I was able to memorize everything. It just like maybe I didn't know how to speak, and that goes with the stutter because I couldn't speak neither French or no English. So, but your brain can memorize and you can speak any language: French, English, Chinese, Russian, Portuguese.
Yep.
None to do with your brain. Your brain is like a computer, so you can memorize a lot of things. It's unlimited. You have no idea what your brain can memorize.
Yeah.
You've seen some people speaking 7 languages, 10 languages because of their brain. So use your brain. You can memorize any language, even English, not your first language. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to speak. As long as you know how to speak one language, you can speak any other language. And one day I said like, if I have a master, by the way, a master in finance, so I mean that I can have a managerial position in my company now. Why am I doing this kind of lower entry-level position? So I said myself, like, I gotta do something about it. I have to. So I started going online. So one day, I think I Google, or I went on Facebook, no, I Google. And then I saw, no, on YouTube, sorry.
On YouTube?
Yeah, it was on YouTube. on YouTube, I saw it was a video about somebody in Russia, like he was cured for stuttering in 3 days. I was like, wow, that's impossible. You can't be cured in 3 days. Like, come, I did that for my whole life. So I went on YouTube, I watched the video, and it was just in Russian. And I was like, well, it's in Russian, I speak English, so I cannot do it. And then I found like they have somebody in the US that can be the link between the guy in Russia and you. And I thought like, wow, good news, it's like I can speak English now, so maybe she can help me. So I went online, and she was helping a lot of people in English too. So I watched a couple of videos for people English speaking that were cured in 3 days. For me, it was still, no, it can't be. Wow, that's too good to be true.
Camille, I just want to interrupt you for a second because we don't cure, and you know that already.
No, yeah.
We don't cure because there is no anything to cure. There is no disease to be cured.
It's not disease. You help the starter to understand that they have to change their mind, they have to change their behavior.
Right.
They have all the capacity and the skills to speak as normal people.
Right. So what we provide a speech education program. It's a normal class, speech education class. You study and you're done.
You study, you're done. It's like any courses in school. So you study, you get serious, and you see the results.
Right.
So that's what I did. So I contacted Anna to say like, hello, I'm interested. I watched the video, I watch people, so I want to be like those people. And then you answer me back. I joined the conversation group like you organized. So I talked to other people like me who were wanting to join the program. And I spoke to other people who have done the program and I've seen the results. So it was like seeing the actual result. Somebody a couple of days earlier couldn't speak, now was able to have a conversation with anybody. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I want to do the same thing. So that's how I came to you, and you introduced me to Roman. Roman, she diagnosed at me and see what was the issue. So we worked on that issue. And today, it took us like 2 days and a half. And today, I'm really proud of myself, knowing I can speak. I didn't even hesitate now. I didn't even need to think about I might be able to say that word, maybe I need to switch to substitute the word. No, I just say whatever comes to my mind.
That's right.
And I went out there yesterday to experience that speaking in the normal daily situation. I spoke to random people yesterday, and it was amazing conversation. Knowing like it was me, not hiding, not being negative. It was me the way I should be earlier, it's like numbers years ago, and that was amazing. So I just want to say everybody like try is worth it. So give it a try, see by yourself. You can see me now. For other people who don't have English as first language, give it a try too, because the way we speak, we just have one way to speak. Whatever language you speak, the way we shape our mouth, lips, the way we produce sound is the same way. For the Chinese guy to the Portuguese guy is the same thing. So
you know what, Camille, let's prove it that it really doesn't matter what language you need to speak in. So can you give us a little speech in French, because that's your first primary language?
Donc, pour tous ceux qui ont le français comme la première langue et qui n'ont pas cette malchance, pas la capacité de parler correctement, je dirais que ce n'est pas une maladie, ce n'est pas quelque chose qui vous empêche de parler, mais c'est juste que vous ne savez pas que vous avez la capacité de parler normalement. La preuve est que quand vous êtes tout seul, vous pouvez parler, vous pouvez dire tout ce que vous voulez. mais juste devant une personne, vous êtes incapable de parler parce que vous avez toujours cette pensée négative qui vous fait croire que vous ne pouvez pas parler et vous pensez toujours aux situations passées. Donc, je veux dire, ayez confiance en vous, sachez que vous êtes capable de parler comme tout le monde, sachez que vous avez la capacité, vous avez toutes les potentialités physiques et physiologiques de parler comme tout le monde. Il faut juste essayer, il faudrait juste déjà changer votre manière de penser. Puisque vous êtes quelqu'un qui a toutes les potentialités, il faudrait que vous pensiez de manière positive et être beaucoup optimiste, pardon, ouais, être assez optimiste, savoir que vous êtes quelqu'un dont on a besoin d'écouter ce que vous avez à dire. Ce que vous avez à dire peut changer la vie de plusieurs personnes. Donc, soyez optimiste. Allez-y, essayez le programme comme j'ai essayé. Allez voir quelqu'un, peut-être si vous ne parlez pas correctement anglais, ce n'est pas un problème. Essayez toujours parce qu'il y a toujours une manière de pouvoir apprendre. Et comme je l'ai dit tantôt, dépendamment de la langue que vous parlez, la manière de parler est la même. La manière dont on produit le son, la manière dont on utilise les mots, c'est la même dépendamment de toutes les langues qu'on parle. Donc, je vous conseille juste à tout le monde, ne vous découragez pas. Il y a comme une brèche d'espoir et l'espoir, c'est eux. Ils m'ont vraiment aidé. Aujourd'hui, je sens que ma vie recommence. C'est un nouveau départ pour ma vie aujourd'hui. Je peux dire tout ce que je veux, comme je veux, quand je veux, sans toutefois hésiter ou à douter de ce que je veux dire. Donc, je vais vous conseiller à tout le monde de pouvoir essayer, faites comme moi et vous verrez les résultats par vous-même.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no idea what you were talking about, but I did understand the words optimistic and pessimistic. So I guess you talked about that. That's good. Are you feeling confident now and comfortable the way you speak right now?
A lot more comparing to a couple of days ago. Like this time last week, I was like, how come I can't speak? Yeah. And today going forward, I know like what I'm gonna talk about because I know like I can talk about everything.
Yeah.
Whenever, wherever, like. Yeah.
Camille, for how long were we working yesterday?
Yesterday we worked for 8 hours. So
straight.
Yes, straight 8 hours. It was intensive. It was good. A lot of information, a lot of practice because you have the practice yesterday. So they gave me the information, they gave me the skills and the tools, everything I needed to produce a good sound or a good speech. And we practiced yesterday for 8 hours. I would admit it, like I was really tired yesterday after the 8 hours. But it was worth it because it was what I wanted, what I needed. And yesterday, I got that yesterday. I went out yesterday to experience that. Because talking to Anna, I said, yes, it's Anna. But out there, Anna is not there. You have normal people out there. So I went out yesterday. The first person I met, I just asked for any random thing. I want to go to the bank. Do you know any bank close by? And he told me. I wasn't able to say that before because strangers are like hell for you. Because they don't know who you are. You want to hide studying. You don't know if you're able to say the word. You practice the sentence like 5-10 times and you get in front of a person, you can't say it because we don't speak like that. You don't prepare every single sentence or every single thing you have to say a couple of days ago. No, you just have to get to the person and say it.
Yep.
So I said it. I went to the restaurant yesterday. I have like a good time with my girlfriend and it was so amazing. And she was looking at me and saying, wow, something changed in you. I was like, yeah.
I am being myself, right? That's the change. Did she like the change?
Yeah,
I hope she did. Okay. So the main point is being yourself. That's what we are helping people to discover themselves and stick to themselves. No artificial technique. Did we teach you any artificial techniques?
No, I didn't have to breathe or to stop the way I was breathing.
So now, Camille, with your knowledge now, do you understand why don't you need to even think about breathing?
You don't need to think about breathing when you produce a sound. You just have to think about the word using my root voice and say it, because we have that physiological skills to speak because we were born that way. God, let's say, whoever created us, gave us that tools to speak, to make this sound. So you're able to make those sounds. No matter how you breathe, we don't have like 10 ways to breathe. We just breathe one way anyway. So they'll listen to people saying, I have to change the way you breathe. It's wrong. The people will think about millions of things before opening their mouth. No, just think about that single word and say it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. A lot of people will listen to you and a lot of people appreciate your openness. A lot of people will thank you. And I would like to thank you from myself and from Roman Snezhko for making a great student. You were one of the best students. You were listening, you were humble, you were following directions, you were not arguing with us in anything. And you just went with the flow, you followed our directions, and here you are. You have 100% success.
Oh, thank you.
Like any other our students that have completed the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everybody.